I don't think I'm not scared. I definitely respect him. A great player, and he's going to line up. I trust all the guys that both our tackles. I think they'll handle their own, and if we just play our game, we should be able to just do our best.
How big of a challenge is it for this offensive front? How much can you prove in a game like this, going against a D line that probably one of the better ones you'll face at any point this season?
It's a great challenge. We really want to prove ourselves that we can hang with these guys, and like you said, they're all great players, and it's going to be a challenge. But we just need to do our jobs, not get too caught up in trying to, or just in the atmosphere in general, or trying to do something that do other people's jobs. Just do what we're supposed to do, and let the rest take care of itself.
I know that those comments by Clowney were a few months ago. At the time, though, did you take offense because you're the offensive line blocking for the quarterback?
Yeah, you definitely take offense because it's kind of a shot at you that you couldn't protect him, and that's the reason that he's getting sacked. So you definitely take it personal, but at the same time, you just kind of got to brush it off because stuff like that gets said all the time, and we just got to play our game.
Unlike maybe lesser talented teams who stunt, blitz, get cute to try and confuse you, did they do that, or is it just here we come?
They're not as they're not going to bring as much pressure because they are very talented and they can get pressure on the quarterback and they can stop the run without having to do all that. So it's going to be a lot like going against our defense in practice. They don't do a whole lot to surprise us, I guess, because they are a very good defensive line. So I think that's a good thing for us. We don't have to I guess get prepared for all that, but at the same time they are very good, so we will have to be on our A game.
Is the key not to let them pressure Taj with just 4?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a big factor in the game. Another one, just running the ball. I think that'll help take pressure off Taj as well. As if we can run the ball and they're not expecting pass every time, so that'll take a lot of pressure off of him.
You've seen him in person, you've seen him in film. What's the biggest difference between him and somebody like Corey Crawford or Vic Beasley, guys that you see every day?
I think he's kind of the whole package. He's a big body guy and he's fast. He's good with his hands. He can kind of do it all.
Tyler, the game's obviously won up front. You guys had some success early on last year. How do you guys sustain that for 4 quarters this year?
I think just staying focused. Last year we got behind and had to press a little bit, and that's what we can't do this year. We just got to establish the run game, and that will help take pressure off Taj, and then we don't have to rely on throwing it every down and just letting them tee off on us. So I think that's the biggest thing is establishing the run game and staying focused. Don't get too caught up in everything.
It's kind of an indelible memory of last year, standing on the sideline in the second half thinking, when are we going to get back on the field?
Oh yeah, it was tough because it's tough to get in a rhythm, and then we go out there and we don't capitalize when our defense does get stopped. So it just it goes hand in hand. We couldn't help our defense out, and then they couldn't get off the field. So I think that's the biggest thing this year is just working well together. Capitalizing on those opportunities when we have them.
Is there anything that you can do to prepare Isaiah Battle, for the atmosphere?
During practice they have the speakers on. They'll turn up some music to make it hard to hear and things like that. I guess that's the best you can really do. You can't really simulate the atmosphere that'll be there just because it's all like playing in Death Valley. Like everybody's excited and it's going to be loud and all the fans are going to be screaming. So it's going to be hard to prepare for it, but we'll do the best we can.
Do you stay away from social media in a week like this, knowing how much the fans banter and the fact that you guys have lost 4 in a row? You just stay away from it and try to.
Oh yeah, I try not to look at it a lot because you can definitely get overwhelmed with it, and everybody always has something to say, especially in a rivalry game like this, and somebody's always talking about like a lot of people want to say like, oh, the offensive line can't handle Clowney or the South Carolina defensive line, and a lot of that stuff's just talk, and people who aren't even I guess part of the program, so they wouldn't know. So it can definitely get in your head if you let it, but it's just easier to stay away from it.
Use it as motivation when you hear other people say, and even maybe some analysts say that you guys aren't going to be able to handle what they're going to bring at you.
Oh yeah, you can definitely use it as motivation. It's like you said earlier, it's a challenge to us, and we just need to play our best game.
With all you guys have done as a senior class, the great resume, how much of a void will be left if you leave here not having
right.
the rivalry game?
Yeah, and that's the big thing. That's one of the things we haven't done is win this game, and that's it's always a big game. It's it's the last game too, so it's the last. This is gonna be the last memory we have leaving this place. So you definitely want to win it and get that bad taste out of your mouth.
I imagine both teams would be a little bit maybe tighter than normal at the start. any more pressure on you guys because you haven't won? Can they come out, do you think, maybe play a little bit looser because they've got the streak going?
I don't know if you could say. I mean, there's always pressure on the game, but I think both teams are going to feel the same amount of pressure because, as soon as somebody wins, what happens? If we won this week, what happened before? These last couple of years, everybody's going to forget about because it's all about what happened that year or at this game.
How important is this game for Clemson as a program to go into Columbia with what's at stake with USC, that they've won 17 straight? You guys have dropped 4 straight to them, but if you guys could end the streak with what everything they've got on the line, how big would that be for this program?
It would be a huge win, because we could just going into a top 10 opponent like that and you go into their place and getting a win, because that's one thing we've kind of struggled with maybe is, we'll win a few big games and we'll lose a few. We need to show that we can consistently win, and that's just one thing we haven't, like I said earlier, the senior class hasn't done is beat South Carolina, so that'll be a great win for us, especially, the last game of the season.
Are you guys aware that this is a tombstone game?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Is that something the coaches say? I mean,
we haven't talked about it, but, everybody knows about, so it's just maybe adds a little bit of pressure to it, or not pressure, but excitement to, something to play for.
Do you feel like if you don't win this game, that there'll be a glaring hole in your resume?
I don't know if it's a glaring hole, but, it'd definitely be a disappointment. I would like to, beat these guys at least once, my last time around. So, but it's like you say, maybe not a glaring hole because there's so much to look back and say, like, we've accomplished so much and we've, really turned this program around. So it's been good, but it would, definitely be disappointing.
Have you made a point to communicate that to the younger guys, your personal sense of urgency and the sense of urgency of the senior class, that this is our last time, we need to make sure we do that?
Right, and yeah, we've talked about that. This is our last time. This is our, we want to go out with a good taste in our mouth. You want to go out with a win, but at the same time, we told these guys, don't get so caught up in it to where you're playing uptight or you're practicing all week and you can't focus because you're so uptight. It's just another game. We got to prepare the same way. We got to do the same things we've been doing, and the best way to play your best game is to go out there and have fun and don't get so caught up in it.
In terms of being able to come out with a fast start, a good start against Florida State, obviously tentative. It was a big time game. You guys just didn't look like you were ready to play. How do you make sure this time around there's a better focus, a better intensity from the very beginning, and maybe look more relaxed when you're playing this game? It's against Florida State,
right?
Similar stage. Y'all didn't look very relaxed.
I think that's like you said, that's the biggest thing, is just going out there to relax. Just going out there to have fun, because ultimately it's just a game. If we go out there and do our best, then the outcome will take care of itself, and there's nothing else you can do about it. So I think that's our biggest thing, is relaxing this week, doing what we've been doing. Don't try to press more during the week or press during the game. Just go out there and have fun.
So has this been all mental, you think, then? Just you guys in your minds, when you don't maybe perform at this type of stage, it's just you guys out thinking, you put too much pressure on yourselves?
I don't think that's all. All these teams have been, South Carolina's been a great team these last couple of years, and they've just whooped us. But I think we could take a lot of pressure off ourselves if we would just relax and go out there and have fun.